I know one of your great initiatives is the all-screen study, which looks across platform. Can you go into some of the specifics about the study?
Sure, sure. So there are two separate, distinct things we're trying to accomplish with all screen. First, we think it's really important that the market is able to understand the true breadth of CNN across platform, TV in home, TV out of home, mobile, and digital. Because if you think about what we get out of NPower, that presents a very limited view, both in terms of the reach and in terms of the demographic composition of CNN's audience. So part of All Screen is working with Nielsen's data integration experts, Pete's team, to be able to integrate TV viewing in home from Nielsen, TV viewing out of home from Nielsen Audio, previously Arbitron, with our own internal mobile data and our own internal digital server data. And to be able to integrate that in a way where we can go to an advertiser and talk about the true reach of CNN across all platforms and really be able to paint the picture of how across different demographics they react differently with different CNN platforms. If you think about it, mobile is our youngest platform. Digital is a little older, and being able to illustrate that to an agency or a client is really important. The other part of it is sort of focused around the TV in home and out of home. There have been a lot of people in this industry who have been thinking about this concept of out of home TV measurement. I mean, ESPN, ABC did some great work in the 80s in this concept. And the fact of the matter is CNN delivers a pretty material amount of out-of-home TV viewing to our normal linear, through our normal linear TV programming. So what we've done is we've taken a subset of All Screen, which is just a combination of Nielsen People Meter and Nielsen Audio for out-of-home TV. We've integrated that together. We've taken that data and we've put it into our sales estimates. So every time we generate a sales plan, we're able to show an agency buyer, here's how much out-of-home additional audience we're anticipating we're going to deliver from the plan. And then on the back end, we still work with MSA to do our post buys. We're able to actually show them the actual amount of out-of-home delivery we would deliver to them. So the thought is we're using that data actively. It's a big part of our upfront discussions. And, we think as it relates to, every media company is focused on this idea of unmeasured audience. We think that out-of-home TV, if you're in the news and sports space, is actually a pretty material amount of unmeasured audience. So that's why it's so important to us.
I'm curious to know, since you mentioned MSA, are you able to guarantee on this? Is there a plan to? And does this out-of-home show up on the MSA?
Yeah, so it's a big part of our upfront strategy. Actually, I felt really good because the last couple of minutes of our CNN upfront presentation was Jeff Zucker talking about this concept of CNN All Screen, our out-of-home TV audiences. So it's an active part of our upfront discussions with our agency clients. One thing we're actively pursuing is we know that for the data to be accepted by our clients, it needs to have some other validation. Just talking about Pete Doe being a wonderful fusion expert is not quite enough. So we're in conversations with the MRC about getting them to do an evaluation of the all-screen TV in home and out of home. But yeah, our hope is that agencies will give us credit and will include all-screen in our out-of-home, in our upfront negotiations. The way we do our MSA posts is we actually are able to show, here is what your standard post is in terms of in-home TV. Then we're able to show, here's how much incremental audience the out-of-home contributed. And we show a CPM against including that, yeah.
And demographics?
Against demographics.
Is there a thought to scaling it beyond CNN, making it more of an industry kind of, methodology?
Yeah, our Our hope is that Nielsen takes that step. The ball's really in their court. As we've talked to them, they've said that launching a product like that is one of the normal outcomes of having done the purchase of Arbitron. So now, what's interesting is we actually started this when Arbitron was a separate company, and we were able to get them to work together with Nielsen, and we were really happy with the way they worked together. It was great that they collaborated. Nielsen has said that they intend to launch a syndicated product. One of the things I think that's interesting is the work they're doing now in local markets. And at the SIM event, Dave Poltrak showed some data that was, I think, the Chicago DMA talking about TV and radio, local station TV and radio, and how that combines together. That's using the same data set and a lot of the same fusion techniques. Our hope would be in a year from now, this is a syndicated product. It's baked into C3. It's in agency data feeds. And we all sort of absorb that and use it to transact against.